Welcome to Live, Laugh, Love. Today we're going to be doing minestrone soup. It's super easy, it's super difficult to mess up, and anyone can make it. Some of the things you're going to need is 1 or 2 cans of kidney beans. You can use fresh green beans or you can use canned green beans, doesn't matter. It's up to you, personal preference. 2 cans crushed tomatoes, could be any kind that you have, it doesn't matter. 2 zucchini, this is stock, it's just what I have. Elbows, just because I didn't have the little ditalini noodles, that's just what I have on hand, so I'm using those. We're using 3 small onions, carrots, obviously some garlic, Italian seasoning, celery, and parsley. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this stock going. Just because it's frozen, put the whole thing in the pot. Put on low. Doesn't matter what the number says here. Start it up, go to the highest, that's high. Go to the lowest, and that's low. Anything in the middle is medium. I mean, come on, it's not that serious. So most everything I cook is on low. So I'm just actually gonna set that on like 4 or medium low in the middle and just let that start to simmer. I have to cut up the onions and the celery. I want 2 to 3 times amount of onions as I have in celery. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so where do I get my stock from? Ultimately, every time I cut into an onion or celery or carrots, I take it and I put it into a bowl. Anything that's good for a soup. So celery, carrots, onions, garlic. I'll take the skins and all and just throw it in there. And then I put it in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. And I just keep filling up those Ziploc bags until I make a turkey or a ham. And then I take all the bones from that and I throw it in a separate bag. And when I'm ready, I'll use all of those cut-offs. And it happens a couple times a year. And I'll make a big stock and I'll just fill up like this huge commercial canner I have. I think it's 30 quarts with water and all of the bones and vegetable cut-offs. And I just make a stock and I strain it. And then I give the excess to the chicken. The bones then finally go in the trash and the stock goes in the freezer for times like this when you need it. I just love onions so much, they make me cry. These are gonna go in a soup bowl. Now, like I said, usually I put 2 to 3 times the amount of onions that I do celery. However, I didn't have that many onions, so I'm just gonna not include that much. I'll include some onion powder. These are green beans, obviously. I'm just chopping them to a mouthful size. Doesn't have to be perfect. Rarely anything I ever do is remotely close to perfect, but this stuff really does taste delicious. It's pretty hard to screw up. I think that's why I like it so much. Soups are, I don't know, kind of my thing. Maybe not. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. I'll take the end pieces of this, cut it in 4s. I don't know, and put it in the bucket with the onion scrap. I cook all the time, so when I use stock, I use a ton of it. Usually once a week there's a soup. I use stock in mashed potatoes. I use stock in so many different things. And I don't know, it's just I'd rather make it than what, I mean, it's just coming from stuff we're gonna throw away anyway, right? Except I have chickens to give the cooked scraps to, so I actually can use it a couple of times, a couple of different ways, which is fun because then I feed the chickens and then the chickens feed me eggs. So the food that I would normally throw out turns into eggs. Now I just gotta wash these up. I cut all the celery so I can use the end cuts for the bag for the freezer, but I really need celery for the soup. So I'm gonna take half the celery, I'm gonna take the best looking stuff, and that'll be celery sticks for the kids. And I'll take the not so prettier stuff, and I'm just gonna dice it up. a bunch of fresh parsley. All of this I will chop up, and this will go to the chickens. Now all I have to do is julienne some carrots, or shred, whatever you want to call it. So I can find the shredder. Where is the shredder? I need you. Where are you? Shred some carrots. I found you. Now the carrots will die. Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah! Oh, now it's a party. Not a party till something breaks. I'm sure you all have shredded a carrot. If you don't want to do this and possibly get fingers in your minestrone soup, you could just chop this up. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, like everything, doesn't have to be perfect. Want to see it rain carrot? It's raining carrot. Oh, there's a finger. I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into my food. How about you? Yeah, that's kind of gross. All right, you don't really need to see me do this for 20 minutes. All right, so put it in this bucket. Yes. It's really just, you can add carrots, but it's really just for color. Tiny bit of flavor. To tell you the truth, I don't think I've ever tasted carrot in a soup. But maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. All right, got that. Now garlic. So you can use 2 tablespoons, or you can Emerald Lagasse it and just bam, 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 put a bunch of garlic in it and call it a day. Okay, we'll just one for good measure. Oh, the crowd goes crazy because he put another teaspoon of garlic in his dish. Bam! Oh my God! Okay. And then we mix the ensemble. It's going in a pot. And then, see that our broth is melted. Ooh. Oh, see the steamy. Ooh, look. Now we have the broth. You gotta be quiet.
I have to read all these different kinds of books. And then you get a free Darien Lake Pass.
Oh, so you're gonna read all those books?
And
then you're gonna get a Darien Lake Pass?
Yes.
You are the best brother in the whole world. That is how you live.
And I have to read a lot.
That's how you love right
I
there.
have to read a lot.
You're a good boy. You better get to work.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm just going to get this pot going. We have to saute the vegetables. So I'm gonna put it, medium low. Nothing crazy. Nothing wild happening. And you can use olive oil, you can use vegetable oil, you can use bacon fat, you can use butter, but we have a dairy allergy in the house, so we tend not to use butter. I love to use bacon fat, but I'm trying to eat healthy, trying to be a better person, and not so tubby. Okay, olive oil in the pot. I'm sure you've seen that before. We want to make sure it ripples. We're not quite there yet. We are close. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that ripple. You see it? Oh, you do see it, don't you? Don't you? You see the ripple. Yay, you're my bestest friend. Ah! I know. I'm a little crazy. I just am. That's rippling. We're gonna take, this is the celery, the onion, the carrots, and the garlic. We're gonna put it in here. Oh, you hear that sizzle? Absolutely flipping awesome. It sounds just like cooking does, like always does. Oh, I bet you wish you could smell this. Haven't heard that before. That's original. All right. So we're gonna saute that. Different recipes will say 4 to 5 minutes, but those recipes are wrong. They just always are. Their timing is never right. Okay, so now we just gotta wait for that to saute for a little bit. And I'm gonna chop some parsley. Come along, chop some parsley with it. It's gonna be so much fun. Oh, I forgot the zucchini. Dun, dun, dun. Better do that quickly. Oh, snap. Okay, now we're gonna add the zucchini to the pot. Oh wait, am I gonna get sued? Is Emerald gonna sue me? Because I said bam? I don't know. I went to one of his restaurants in Orlando and it cost a ridiculous amount of money and the food was totally mediocre. And so are a lot of his recipes. I don't know what it is. It just, for me, it didn't come out that great. I've had a lot of luck with Martha, the Insider Trading Bandit. Most of her recipes are ridiculously good. That and Rachel Ray. No, I'm not a chef. Never was one. Never will be one. I do like to cook. I've been cooking since Jan Can Cook was on TV and like before cooking shows. I guess that is a cooking show. Chopping parsley. I'll even put some of that dun, 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 music. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna add the parsley. Time. It's not like I have a professional crew or nothing. All right, now we want to add the beans. It's right here. Ooh, oh, geez. You know, just throw the whole bowl in there. See, this is real cooking. This shit really happens, doesn't it? Maybe out there cook, this stuff happens. All right, add the stock. Watch me spill it all over my wife's clean stove. I guess it's our clean stove, but she cleaned it really well the other day, and then I overboiled hot cocoa all over brand new stove. Thought she was gonna murder me, but she didn't. Okay, now you can use Italian seasoning. You could use parsley. You could use basil. You can use a combination of all three. You could do whatever the hell you want because it's your soup. And you know what? It's not gonna taste that much different from mine. I'm gonna use some dried. You can use fresh. You can do whatever you want to do. That's part of cooking. It's part of the fun. Okay, why do I have water going and going and going? I'll tell you in a minute. We need a crushed tomato. You can drain it. I don't. I want all the fluid from the can. I paid for it. I'm gonna use it. I do not do that with the beans. And the reason I don't do that with the beans is because I don't like the syrup that's in the beans. I can't imagine that that is good for you, so I don't use it. Okay, tomato goes in there. Now, this is the only time I ever use high heat, when I'm trying to get liquid to a boil. Crank that sucker up. Ooh, look how hot that is. It's like real fire. You know this, it's a stove. You've cooked before. If you haven't, it's a good time to start. Super easy, can't screw it up. Have I said that before? I think I have. Okay, why is the hot water going like crazy? Yes, I know. Okay, so what I do is I rinse the inside of the can real quick. You need hot water to go in the soup because if you use cold, it'll take longer to boil. That's the only reason. You don't even have to use hot water. You want to wait a little bit longer for it to boil? Sure. Okay, so I get the inside of the can off with hot water, pour it in there. Now, I use a stock that I make from scratch. It's very thick and it's very, very strong. So I add extra water to make it more soupy. Then you can give yourself a kind of stir and just see like where the consistency is. Now this is going to thicken up as it cooks. And you can tell once it calms down that it could definitely use a little more stock. You see all those bubbles? Those are oil bubbles. It could be from the olive oil or the stock. But I need to add salt and pepper. I'm gonna add a little more water just because that's really thick and I know my stock can take more water. So I'm probably gonna add like 2 cans worth-ish. I know it's not an official, I guess it could be an official measurement. It's like 28 ounces. Ooh, and I'm gonna do that twice because it's gonna cook down because I let this simmer for quite a while. I'm gonna say about an hour. Once it gets boiling from that point, that's enough. I have to add salt and pepper. Okay, salt. You can grind, it doesn't matter. You can grind it, you're gonna can it. I would use canning salt. If you're not gonna can it, I use iodized. I just go pretty hard on it. Obviously not too hard. And I give it a mix. Now, if you add raw meat, like beef or anything like that, we don't for minestrone. Don't do this, or add the meat after you try the salt content. Definitely needs more salt. So with any soup or anything that you're seasoning, I found you want it to taste very faintly. You want to be able to taste the salt very faintly. If you taste a lot of it, by the time you get to the third mouthful, you're going to be upset that you did that. So you just want to taste. When they say to taste, it literally means to taste. That's perfect. This is what I want to show you. Super excited about this. My dad got me this for Christmas, and this is the coolest damn pepper shaker, pepper mill, I've ever seen in my life. He got it in Skinny-Appolis, or Skinny Atlas, not Skinny-Appolis, Skinny Atlas. Look at this bad boy. Look at the colors. We need to shoot some B-roll on this, and we will. But for now, let's just use the damn thing. Okay, pepper! You gotta put the pepper in! You gotta put the pepper in! It's so much fun! Okay, no, too much pepper is not a good thing. Not too much pepper. We don't want too much pepper in our pepper. This is not a pepper sauce. No, no, no. Okay, and stir it, and you bring it to a boil. He smells so good. Smells so good. Okay, so you bring it to a boil, let it simmer, and then you just cook up some elbow noodles, ditalini noodles. You know, you can cook them however you want. If you want like them al dente, make them al dente. If not, don't. And then I leave the noodles separate because right now I'm not trying to eat so many carbs. And you can add the noodles in later. Usually I would like to put them in just because it absorbs all the soup flavor and everybody's so good. But if not, you don't have to. Okay, brought it to a full ridiculous boil. That is not how you make soup. We don't want to do that. Okay, anyway, medium right there. So we get a simmer. That's even a little aggressive, but it takes a few minutes to get a little bit cooler. Is a simmer. That's what you should be doing. Not for an hour. I was definitely wrong. Looking at this stuff and the stuff that went in it, an hour is going to turn this into mush. We don't want that. So we're going for 20 minutes. Then we're going to add the spinach, which I totally forgot about. And then it'll be done. And now we add the spinach. You guys have never seen what it looks like to add spinach. How much do you add? I don't know. It says 2 cups in almost every recipe, but for me, if the spinach is like a couple days ready from not getting eaten, the old Polish boy throws it all in. It basically shrivels to nothing anyway. So you got 20 minutes, roughly 15-20 minutes of this stuff in the pot, and that's it. All I do is I add noodles and Parmesan cheese towards the end. Okay, Crosby, we gotta have our minestrone soup that I just made. I just made minestrone soup for you. What are you doing? What? This is real cooking, folks.
No, it's not.
It is.
But it's from Hibachi.
This is real cooking. This is what happens. You cook, you bust your ass, and the kids don't want to eat it. Ever! Ever! What I do is I put a little... Normally, I'd put noodles in there. I guess I'm not doing that today. I forgot. You just want some noodle. Because it's important that we add a little freshly grated Parmesan.
It's already shredded.
Oh, they're gonna know the secret now. Oh, that's right. Busted. And now, as a true cook, I go eat alone while the kids microwave leftovers from a hibachi grill. I'm gonna sit at my super clean table. It's never dirty. We have one of those cooking shows. Nothing is ever dirty. Nothing is... Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, okay? Share, show it to a friend, do all that ish. This soup loves you. Don't forget that. Next week, we are going to post a video about the cruise we just went on. Finally, another travel video. Ooh, it's been so nice. Like 80 degrees the whole week. Oh, came back to -19.